Hey everybody, how's it going? Back with another video. Real quick, wanted to start off this video by saying thank you to all the people who have been checking out the channel, whether you're a subscriber or you're just randomly coming across it from suggested or because of a search engine. I appreciate you guys giving the channel a shot, checking it out, seeing if my information is good for you. If you like it, all that matters is you guys check it out. If you liked it, go ahead and leave a subscription. It means the world to me. Um, this week, I want to go ahead and I want to talk about why at this point in time it doesn't matter. Pokemon can't print enough to quench demand, and there's really two key components I think that a lot of people. I mean, let's be fair. There's three components, but focusing on the third party that we're not typical of seeing. They're not typically involved except for every 5 years or so. And those two parties are going to be your investors, and they're going to be your rip and shippers. Hear me out. As far as with investing, I have no problem with people investing in it. For me, I enjoy getting to open up packs. I get to enjoy opening up packs with my kids. They enjoy it. It's something fun to do. Um, right now, we haven't been able to do it as much because, like, for example, the Sam's Club, I was only able to afford one of the collection boxes that came out. So I'm waiting to see if I can get any more to be able to open up some with my kids because I would like to have one just to have one, you know. And unfortunately, it's a decision that me and my wife are having to make because my intention is to always hold on to this long term for my kids. So even if you want to argue and say, well, if you really care about your kids and this is for your kids, then why don't you go ahead and open it? It shouldn't matter. It's a valid point, but I'm trying to, instead of giving them short-term satisfaction, would really they don't care that much. It's just something like that me and my wife like to do, so then they like to do it and be involved in it. It's something that like in the long term, like in 14 years, them opening up a $55 collection box now could be, like $1,000 collection box. I mean, again, who knows? With the way that the hobby's going, there's so many variables that I don't think people are taking into consideration that can really dictate how successful or not successful Pokemon is long term. I'm not saying that Pokemon at some point is going to be worth like nothing, like Magic has been in the past, but the likelihood of that is very small. It's not impossible, but it's very small. I think Pokemon it handles their IP a lot better than Magic does. But if we can't, or Pokemon, there's two things. Either Pokemon has to get more involved, or we as a community have to put our foot down and say, Enough's enough. We're not going to support this anymore. And we don't need to support it anymore because honestly, most of the things I'm talking about in this video are you getting taken advantage of in one way, shape, or form. Is rip and chips. And the reason why is that's the freshest thing on my mind. So I've been up for over 24 hours. I've been sick the last couple of days, feeling like death. And last night I couldn't really sleep. Who really cares? But I was like, all right, let me do, since I spent a couple hours laying in bed. I was like, let me just go ahead and hop on YouTube and see if I can find anything maybe can help me fall asleep. And like you start scrolling through your YouTube, you get your suggested things that they think you may like, and then the more you keep scrolling, doom scrolling as they call it, then you start getting into like weirder like off stuff. So you got like young adults acting like they're trying to fall asleep and taking donations for people. People make a $20 donation and it makes it a loud noise, and then all that money grab stuff. Um, and then you go into people being like tied up like with saran wrap in California, talking about whales, um, or whatever those people talk about. And then you have probably the worst, in my opinion. That is the rip and shippers. Don't get me wrong, I don't think that rip and ship is a terrible thing. I think it's become a terrible thing because anytime that money gets involved, or easy money, where people can easily get manipulated or taken advantage of, then that's when you start getting really bad people into it. So I was jumping, and then it just kept me on the rip and ships because I'd watch like a couple and then I'd jump to a different one. Pricing of the packs. I understand right now it's hard to get packs. $17 Paldean Fates. Uh, $15 for 151. You've got most of the other sets. You're sitting around $10, $12, $13, and the amount of packs that are being opened, booster boxes that are being opened. Most of the Japanese booster boxes, you don't really see a ton of English booster boxes being opened, but at the same time, you see. I mean, technically, you do because you're seeing hundreds of packs being ripped. Like it could take somebody to open a booster box of packs a couple minutes, and that's like them going slow and really exaggerating. Like, oh, you got a Wigglytuff EX. That's awesome. That's so cool. That card's like $2. Yeah, like that's the other thing too. Every time I fall asleep, I have an earbud in. They'd yell about like a Wigglytuff or a fucking Iron Hands. You think they pulled like the Zekrom or the Victini or the Umbreon or a God Pack, and so I'd wake you up because they're just so overreacting to everything. Um, and for me, I really struggle. I really struggle with the concept because if you see any of these operations, and a lot of times they'll show you like if they do the face cams, or they'll have like the back walls, or they'll have like kind of like a channel where like they'll eventually show their inventory. They have rooms stacked to the wall of product, and a lot of the time, like if you think about that, that's product that should be available to you as a consumer. Um, some of them have distro, some of them don't have distro, but there's other ways of getting product without distro. So, you have other networks inside, not inside of Pokemon, but like who maybe have distro access and they just sell their product instead of selling it to customers. Like they're like say they're an LGS or something, they'll just sell it to rip and shippers for, um, you know, slightly above market, but then they charge you like 3 times, 4 times the pack price, so they're able to cover their cost on that. I struggle with it personally. See the amount of packs that are being opened at the rate they're being opened, and the amount of product that is being hoarded to because they never want to run out of product. They always want to have product available for the customer. So they have like a whole wall full of 151 booster bundles, right? They'll have um, cases and cases and booster boxes of Destined Rivals or Mega Evolutions and stuff like that. And so you're over here struggling to be able to get product, from Pokemon Center or Walmart or your GameStop or your LGSs, and these people are having no problem. It doesn't make any sense. Besides that, they're obviously in a anybody who's in a better financial situation than you are, um, is going to be able to do better in this hobby, and that's something I really disagree with. Is a lot of these bigger YouTubers investors? They're not really investors. I mean, I guess technically they're investors, but they don't. They're not like they don't care about Pokemon. They don't know much about Pokemon. They just act like they do. The only reason they know anything about Pokemon is because they have a rip and ship attached to their name, and they get paid to open up packs. But other than that, they don't know. They wouldn't know what's inside of a set. What Pokemon needs to do is they need to get more involved, and they need to have rip and ships be the only way you can have a legal rip and ship is and do Pokemon cards is you have to go through Pokemon, and Pokemon has to approve you. And if that means that only LGSs can do it, or some of your bigger online stores, not like GameStop or Walmart, Pokini, Danny Phantom, the Card Coliseum, like those kinds of people to be able to do rip and ships, that they've shown that they're not going to necessarily take advantage of the market. In that way, if they can get the product for below MSRP, they can then sell it at MSRP, maybe like $1 more. My thing is when it's like 3, 4 times the price. And and anyone who does do it outside of Pokemon, there's a way to report them, and they will get like legal action against them if caught. That will free up so much of this product that is being hoarded away, which then will help bring down the market. It'll flood the market again, and you'll be able to find product as a collector, player, even investor. The other thing, the other point of this video is the investors. Now, I think that you can be an investor, and you should, as an investor. I think like if you wanted to get, I think a reasonable amount could be like 10 cases of a set. If you think about that, a good majority of people don't have every time a new set. If Pokemon, because there are a lot of people have been saying like Pokemon just needs to slow down. They need to slow down. There's too many sets coming out. It's like every 3 months a new set's coming out. I agree. They need to slow down. They're not going to slow down. There's too many things that Pokemon depends on that are intertwined to the game. It's not just the game. It's the TV show. It's the games, like the actual video games. Um, there's movies. I mean, it's a whole thing, and I think they're too far ahead. By the time that they were to go, okay, we're going to slow down. If they were to do it, then people, the hype's going to be over, and I don't think Pokemon's ever going to slow down. But like a lot of people aren't going to have. If you think in a normal market, let's just go ahead and say a case costs like $800. So you're looking at $8,000 just for booster box cases. If say you get 10 of them every 3 months, that's not including any Pokemon Center exclusive trainer boxes, normally TBs, booster bundle displays. Like you're talking about what, 20,000 dollars, $15,000, $20,000. Uh, if you were to do like 10 cases of that, to hold on to, maybe open up a case or two, the rest hold on to for 3 to 5 years as an investor, or 10 to 20 years, or whatever your plan is long term. My issue is with the investors that have thousands of cases. They have like 20, 30, 40, 50 cases of a set. Talking about over like the 2 year period, right? And so there's really not a way for Pokemon to make it where that can't be possible. Obviously, it's not realistic, um, but I think that the people who are just, the problem is we have three situations. We have the scalping going on, which I think is the smallest of the problem. I think the rip and ships and the investors are the two biggest problems. Scalping can easily be corrected um, by just letting the hype die out. Obviously, speaking with your money. Same thing with the rip and ships. But I think Pokemon can help out with that um, without changing anything, just by getting involved and saying, hey, you have to be licensed through us to be able to do an online, you know, like distros do. To have, where you have to have like an LGS, a physical store, to be able to get product through them. Not all of them, so but some of them you have to have that to be able to get cards from them. And I think Pokemon needs to do the same thing. Is you need to get approved before you can sell cards online in any way, shape, or form. Because if you look at the rip and ships, anybody and everybody has one. And it doesn't matter. You could pop up one day and be gone the next day and make a different one. And people are so forgetful. So that's the problem and then the investors, not all investors, you've got some investors that are like, I just want a couple cases, one to open, and then the rest to put away. But then you've got other investors that are like, oh, I'm going to buy it all. I'm just going to buy it all, and I'm going to do my rip and chips, and I'm going to tell you that you're an idiot, and that you if you can't afford stuff, you're fucking broke. That's the problem. You got people hoarding it in one way, shape, or form. So that's why I feel like Pokemon. It does not matter if Pokemon comes out in 2 months and says we have built 6 new printing facilities. They are operational. We have the machines in there. We have the people trained, and they're only going to print U.S. American products, American Pokemon. If they had all of their factories running at 24/7, I still don't think that it would keep up with demand, because you have people who are supporting these rip and ships for whatever reason. I don't understand it. Um, I've made numerous videos talking about, like, real quick, rip and ships, how they don't care about you. So even if it's like, oh, but they know me. I'm uh, I'm their favorite person. Dude, you're the favorite person because you're paying, like, for you're paying for all their product yourself, and then any additional sales that they get from other people, which they're getting all the time, is just free money. So they're able to go to the bank, go, hey, we need a $200,000 loan. The bank goes, okay, let's see your let's look at your bank statements. They see that their business is profiting, like 60, 100,000 a month. They go, oh yeah, no problem. Then they go and buy all the product. Then you can't get the product. Then the product's gone forever, because instead of people, like, slowly getting to be able to open it, it's just getting fucking ripped through. No, where it's just, does this have a hit? Nope, doesn't have a hit. Doesn't have a hit. Doesn't have a hit. Pokemon has printed more cards in the last couple years than they printed the rest of the years that Pokemon's been around, and they're still not able to keep up. And until some things change, and if it was as simple as me making a video or somebody bigger and saying, look, you need to stop. If you want this, if I can tell you that in a month or two, if everyone stops doing rip and ships, like, stops supporting them, stops using them every day, never uses them again, that we would be able to find cards cheaper on TCG Player. We'd be able to find them on Facebook. We would see a huge correction in the market. Maybe a couple people would do it, but the rest of the people are going to go, fuck that, I don't care. It was not going to change. And then Pokemon can't keep up, because Pokemon's also not going to put themselves in a situation where they open up a bunch of new factories, they catch up with demand dies, they got all these factories they have to worry about leasing out to. It's just not smart business. So that's why Pokemon can't keep up. And unfortunately, the only thing that's going to change is people stop going and doing rip and ships. They stop supporting them. I don't care if they make you feel warm and fuzzy inside. Sorry, you're not special to them. You disappear and come back like a month later. They're not, and you say, "Hey guys, what's up?" I don't know who you are. So that's it for today's video. I'll come back with a video tomorrow. I got a really interesting one I wanted to talk about, but figure this was a good video to start off the week. So see you guys on the next one. Peace.